doing, folks? Welcome back to another film. 1 second, bear with. Right, so I would imagine for those of you that follow the channel, that's a bit dodgy, we'll not do that. Those of you that follow the channel will probably think I've given up photography because it's been that long since I've been out with the camera. We've had other things to do, haven't we? More important, well, not more important, but things I needed to get done, like building that hide. And we're nearly there, but we're doing a little photography project at the moment, and we're going to have a do at photographing Tawny Owls. Now, come on, I'll show you the setup. So when we moved here, I knew there was going to be a massive potential for photographing Tawny Owls. First couple of nights, they were going mad, they were calling to each other, and I mean, just have a look down there. Spin the camera around, I mean, look, it's just thick with woodland. Deciduous woodland, coniferous. Perfect ground for Tawny Owls. So, within a couple of days, I put a big perch up at the top of the meadow, and I had the buzzards coming down. I put a trail cam on, and checking the trail cam, after about a week, I started to see a Tawny Owl coming down. And I've just left it, and I've just left the perch up there, and I've left the trail cam. I've got my new Reolink camera up there, which we're going to have a look at in the next couple of weeks. That's been on like a long-term test, so that's had a real good do. But that's been giving us loads of footage of the Tawny Owls. So I thought, what we're going to do, we're going to get up there, we're going to set up a permanent light system, which this is, I think, the third night that I've photographed them. So it's really early days, it's early days on the project. The first night I went up there, put the permanent lights on, and within 20 minutes I had one of the Tawny Owls coming down. It wasn't bothered at all by the lights, so they're obviously used to coming down on that particular perch, whether they're using it for hunting off on the meadow, because we've just let all the meadow grow, so we've got lovely long lush grass, loads of vegetation, so there's mice and voles and all sorts in there. So it's a great spot for them. So what we'll do now, we'll take the gear up. I'm going to set up now, we're probably 2 hours before dark. We're going to take the gear up. I'm going to show you everything that I use in the setup. We'll come back down, get what we need, back up in the hide, just for it going dark, and we'll see if we can get some pictures. Look at all my posts. What do you think of them? Oi! New bark chipping path, what do you reckon? So I've just been changing this setup a bit, move things around. This is better for the small bird stuff. So as you can see there, over this way I put that nice big perch up for the buzzards, and that dead log there on a bit of a raised platform. I put this lovely post here, that's a cracker. So I'm hoping to get the owls down there. Whether they come down or not, I don't know, but the setup that we've been using, we'll just have a walk up here. This is where the owls have been coming and landing. Right, so I'll put that down there, just show you the basic setup. So these are the two perches that we put up, like probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago now. And initially the buzzards were coming on this one, they were landing right up on the top and landing on this one, and I just found this and thought, oh, I'm putting that up as well, because it's a cracking, really nice old bit of oak, I think it is. And this is the one that the Tawny Owls have been favouring. So as you can see there, I've got the Reolink, that's the new Reolink camera. This was the only place that I could practically find on the property where I could get a 4G signal. So it kind of dictated where I put the camera, and it's perfect for where this is. So that's been working a treat. every time I get a bird dropping in or any particular action around here, that Reolink sends me confirmation to my phone. I get a signal, I get an email notification, and I can have a look live what's on the camera, which is fantastic. So let's have a look what we brought with us. Let's have a look at the kit that we're using. So as I said before, we're using a permanent lighting system, but we're also using flash. Now, flash, some people don't like it. It's a necessary evil. The chances of me getting decent images with a permanent lighting system, it's going to have to be, well, they're going to have to be massive lights. It's just not practical. So I've had the flash set on 1/32 power. So that's 1/32 of the full power of the flash. So it's the tiniest bit of, almost like a fill-in flash, if you will. And the first night I used it, the bird dropped in and I took 4 or 5 images, and it wasn't fazed by it at all. It just never bothered. It didn't spook it. It stayed around for a couple of minutes and then it just flew off. So it's not causing them any distress at all, you know, before anyone starts dropping stuff in the comments about flash. It's a contentious one, but that's what it is. Right, so let's go through the gear. Power supply, that's my EcoFlow power bank, fantastic for this. Loads of juice. That'll run these permanent lights for, I've been using them on about 40% power, the lights that I've got, the rotor lights. It'll power them for about 20 hours, so a ridiculous amount of energy. Those are the lights that I'm using, okay? Those are rotor light Neos. That's the back of them. I can actually power them with AA batteries if I want to, but it takes 6 of them. They don't last that long, so it's better off if they're on a big power source like that. They're not weather resistant, so I brought these bags with me. The second night I tried this out, it was lashing down. That worked perfectly. That's just a Camtraptions bag. Pop it over, pull the cord, and no bother at all. So these, you can alter the colour temperature on them, and you can also adjust the actual output on them, so you can go from 0 to 100%. Like I said, I've been using them on about 40%, 40 to 50%, something like that. So what we do, they just screw on the top, like so. That sits like that. Same on the other one. And then my flashes are actually contained in these. So these housings, I made these out of a pasta container. I'm not sure what make they are, but I think I got them on Amazon, something like that. So we'll have a look at that first. So all I've done there, you can see that is the shape of the pasta container with the click lid, if you will. There you go. So that just flicks off. What I did, I cut the bottom out, smoothed it off, and then I got a piece of Perspex, dropped it in, super glued it in. I think epoxy resined it in, and then on the bottom I've got a piece of plywood there, bolted that through and sealed it, and then I put a boss right in the bottom. You see the boss there, so my magic clamp screws into that, and then I can alter the position. All I do then, get the flash gum. I've got my receiver on the bottom there, and then that just slides in. It's actually a really good fit, and then you can see the flash there. And then if there's any inclement weather, your flash is completely protected. Just click them shut. Happy days. So that works. I made them actually for my camera trapping, but it works ideal for this scenario. Again, if there's bad weather, you don't want your gear getting wet. Now these are a magic clamp. So these are from Tragapan. They're a Cam Shield product. that just screws on there like that. And then what we can do, so that's probably going to be, I don't know, up at that height roughly, maybe a little bit bigger. And then we want the flash gun facing the perch. We're just going to clamp that on. The way these work, I don't know if you've seen these before, but you've got your main clamp, which on these, it shuts down really small, which is great because it means I can clamp onto that. I don't have to clamp onto that part. And then we have another screw turn there. That tightens the whole thing up. So it can be moved to any position basically. It can be, it's really, really adaptable. They're fantastic, these are really good bit of kit. So all we do, undo that, clamp it onto the lighting mast, and then, as I said before, that can be any position. So if I wanted it like that, which is ridiculous, but all I do, I tighten that up, and it tightens every single joint up, so that is solid then, absolutely solid. But we're not going to have it like that. We're going to have it like that. These are going to be available on the Tragapan site very soon. So I might as well mention that while I'm doing it. Tragapan UK is now live on the internet. So I'll put it on the screen now. It's www.tragapan-shop.uk. And for this month, if you put in SEPT5, you get a 5% discount on any purchase. So I'll put all that detail in the video description. So that's set up there. When we get ready, we'll turn our receiver on and the flash gun. We'll bob that in there, stick the back on. We'll put the power cord down to the EcoFlow power bank. And again, I've just protected that socket. I mean, these have a 240 volt pin on them. All right, so that goes into there. There's no doubt other lighting systems that I could use, but this is what I've got. So this is what I'm using. We plug that in, turn her on, there we go. Okay, that's on now. There you go, you can see the lights on. And we're on, well, I think we're on 60% there. So that's illuminating the scene. We're going to do the same with the other one. We'll get that one set up, then we'll knock that off for now because we're not ready at the moment. So when we're ready, we're going to get in the hide, flick them two on, make sure our flashes are working. Always test everything before you get into the hide. Don't leave it too late. I've been leaving it, I don't know, I've been getting ready an hour maybe before I'm ready to go in and do the photography session. So an hour before, make sure everything's working, make sure your flashes are firing properly, get in the hide, and then, you know, wait for the action to happen. Right, I think we're good. Another thing as well that I'm going to have to go down to the house, I've got a waterproof cover, shove that over the power bank. Again, I don't want stuff getting damaged. Right, I think we've covered everything. Let's go and get set up in the hide. Okay, right, hide wise, for the time being, I've just got this little V7, I've got my V7 single door. This has been in this position for 6 months now, and it's as good as the day when I put it up. It's absolutely, it's there's all sorts been dropping on it, but it's blended in really nicely. So, as I said, it's been here for 6 months or so, so the birds are used to it. It's pretty well concealed, to be honest. I just made a bit of a platform. It is my intention to maybe build a very small two-person hide in this corner specifically for this photography and for the buzzards. It's a nice quiet corner. So we'll show you what we've got set up in here. Right, very simple setup. So I've got the 300 2.8 on at the moment. I have, the first night I came down I used the 500 f4. Fantastic, you know, lightwise, but it was a little bit tight. So I mean, I put the 1.4 teleconverter on here. So we've got what, 420? Yeah, 420. Yeah, 420 mil at f4, which is, it's perfect. So I've just got it set up on the big eye footage tripod, got the video head on, and that is it. Now, settings wise, so I am no expert on flash photography, but what I've done, I've got my sync speed is set at, we're on 200th of a second, fully manual. We're down to what I've been using, between F11 and F14. Like I say, shutter speeds on 1/200th of a second, and my ISO been set around about 2000. So I've been, that's been working absolutely fine. If I want to alter the exposure, I've just been playing around with the ISO, so leave it at 200th and an F14. I'm getting a nice, really dark background, because the thing is with Tawny Owls, there's a certain image that I'm after. Now, I see a lot of images of owls at night time, and I don't know, they just seem a little bit overexposed, a little bit washed out. I want to try and get away from that look of a flash photograph. The first night that I was photographing, one of the flashes stopped working for some reason, and it just lit, I'll put the image on now, but it just lit it from one side, and it had a really nice effect. It looked like an owl should look in the dark, if that makes sense. So it can make a massive difference, just different positions of your flash. So this is not a quick game. There's going to be a lot of nights spent in this particular hide, messing around with the settings and messing around with the flash positions, etc, etc. So I want to get some flight shots, and there's just, the potential's massive. But we've got the Tawny Owls, they're coming in regular now on that perch, and yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. So we're all set up now. I'm going to go back down, get the waterproof cover for the power bank, and we've got another hour, so we'll bob back up in another hour and we'll see if we can get some images. Another thing, again, before you actually start your session, just make sure there's nothing in the way. Nothing worse than getting into a hide, getting all ready, get bedded in, and you find there's something in the way. I've actually got, this is a ghillie blanket. So the ghillie blanket just, I don't know, it just adds a little bit more, it just breaks the outline of the hide up. And again, right, we're fed and watered. Let's get up, see if we can get some pictures. Right, probably don't pick it up on this, but, well, it's 7 o'clock now. So I reckon, well, last night when I was in there, 7:30, he came in. So we've half an hour to get sorted. It gives us plenty of time until it's getting a bit back end. Woolly hats out. I say it's probably another 20 minutes before it gets dark enough for them to maybe show the faces. Now there's one thing I really want to highlight, a setting on the camera. So if I spin you around, so that is currently what I can see on the camera. Okay, if I look out, we've still got quite a bit of light. Now that's what I can see on the camera. If I take an image now, so that's the image taken. If I go to my play button, and that is the image there, so I've got a completely dark background. Now there's one setting that you do need to change, and this is on the Nikon Z9. So if I go into my custom settings menu and down to shooting and display, click on that, onto view mode, so that's photo live view, and there's two settings. So there's show effects of settings. If I have that set, I'll show you now. If I put that on there, have it on always, and then there we go. So that is what I'm seeing now through the viewfinder. I literally cannot see anything. It is, I can just about see an outline of the branch, and for me to be able to see that, I've got to start then messing around with my f-stop. You can see it there, it's lighting up, but I'm there at f4, and that is not what I want to be at. So back to f13, onto menu, shooting display, view mode, and it's got to go down to that. So adjust for ease of viewing, and auto, and there we go. So it's like daylight, it's making good use of that permanent lighting, and I'll be able to use my autofocus continuous. If the owl does come in, the eye tracking will pick it up, and I'm making the most of this fantastic autofocus on the Z9. So I'm not sure how it works on other cameras, on other brands, but on the Nikon, that's what you have to change. Right, I think that's it for tonight. We're going to call it a do. So that little film I put together, that's a culmination of 3 nights really. 3 nights on the bounce, and I've had multiple visits, and it's been, well, fantastic. What an experience. And it's the first time I've really photographed tawny owls. Well, first time I've ever photographed them in the dark. You know, I've seen them during the daytime. They're notoriously difficult to spot during the daytime. You might see them roosting up in an oak tree or something, or you know, flush them by accident, but they are difficult to photograph. And you know, I can't think of many other ways really than a setup like this. You know, if you want to catch them in that environment where they are typically there at night time hunting, and yeah, it's the start of an ongoing project. Is this? I can see me doing a lot more of this tawny owl photography. So if you've enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. If you haven't subscribed, please scrub side. if you haven't subscribed, please do. It doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is just press the subscribe button and tickle that bell icon, and then you'll get a notification when a new film comes out. Thanks very much for watching. See you on the next one. See you later.